Hi, and welcome to Vinyasa with Wisby. I just wanted to put together a little bit of a sequence for this weird time that we're in, this lockdown time when a lot of us are spending a lot of time sitting down. And a friend of mine said to me that she's been spending so much time sitting at her kitchen table doing her work and hunching over her computer, not in a chair that's specifically meant to be for working. So we're trying to just, stretch out the neck and shoulders, that hunched tech neck that we get from our computer. So just a few nice little stretches. So we'll start in a nice comfortable position. Just bring your hands to your knees. Try and lengthen the spine. And just close your eyes for a second, just bring the awareness to your breath. I'm taking some nice big inhales through your nose and then just gently releasing the breath. Just making sure you're relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, releasing any tension from the jaw. Just making sure that you're comfortable on the mat. And you're just going to imagine you're drawing up through the crown of the head. You can have the legs wide here if cross-legged doesn't suit you. We're just going to start to take some circles with the head. Bring the chin all the way down to the chest. And gently just getting into those tight vertebrae in the cervical spine. Really nice and slow. I love doing this so much. Even just after sitting at the computer for a few hours, you can just take a little break and do this. Take it in the opposite direction. Super gentle, really slow. Use your breath. Nice and slow. And then look up towards the ceiling, the sky if you're outside. And then draw the chin down towards the chest, stretching into the back of the neck. Bring the hands behind the head and then just interlace the fingers and try to draw the elbows together. Breathing here, and then release the hands to the knees. We're going to take some seated cat-cows. So, hands are on the knees, and as we inhale, we're just going to lift the chin up towards the sky. Gently arch the lower back, and then round the shoulders. Bring the chin down to the chest. Take your spine away from you. Inhale, draw up, look to the sky. And then exhale, round the shoulders, bring the chin to the chest. Making a rounded back here. Inhale, lift the chest, open up the chest towards the sky. Exhale, round down. Inhale, lift the chin up. Exhale, round the back, round the shoulders. Just going to start taking that movement into nice big circles. So drawing the shoulders towards the knee as we come all the way around. Using your breath to enable the movement. Just starting to get into the hips. And just essentially warming up the spine, taking it in the other direction. And of course, this might feel a bit weird because, we don't really move our back or our hips in this direction when we're spending most of the day sitting. So just enjoy it, feel into what you need. Take it super slow. You're going to draw the hands up towards the sky, ceiling. And then just twist with the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Look over that left shoulder. Draw the arms up. And then just take it to the other side. Left hand to right knee. hands back up towards the sky and bring the legs out in front. Just remove the flesh away from the sit bones so you can ground down into the sit bones. Bring your hands either side. Imagine your feet are pushing against the wall so they're nice and strong, facing up towards the sky, ceiling. Drawing the belly slightly in, so we're just engaging the core and lifting up through the crown of the head. Just breathing here, trying to make sure the shoulders are relaxed. It's quite hard to sit in this nice, strong posture. And then you're just going to cross the legs again, opposite one in front to the last cross-leg situation, and then rise up. Draw the right arm out to the side. Just come down onto the hand. You can bring the hand onto the fingertips. You can bring the hand onto a cushion, whatever feels good. You can draw down onto the forearm if that's going to be good. But you keep both sit bones on the floor, and we're just reaching overhead to try and keep a nice stretch in the right side body. You can take circles with the arms like I'm doing if you want to, or you can just stay still. If you're taking circles, draw them really slowly. And with intention. So you're really feeling into every movement. Draw back up, both hands come up towards the sky. We'll take the other hand out to the side, reach overhead. Again, you can bring the hand onto a cushion, you can come just onto the fingertips, or if it feels good, you can come all the way down onto the forearms, stretching all the way up from the hip through the armpit. And then if you want to take some circles, take some circles. Nice and slow. Trying to make sure that both sit bones are on the ground, on the mat. Nice. And then draw the arms up, back towards the sky or the ceiling. And we're just going to bring the hands behind us and gently lift the hips up. So the fingers can be facing you or they can be away from you. Just lift the hips up. If you want to let your head hang, you can let your head hang. So we're just gently coming onto all fours. And then just bringing the hips back towards the heels. Tops of the feet on the mat to come into Balasana, child's pose. So reaching through the fingertips, you can draw the head down between the arms towards the floor, or if you want to use a pillow or cushion again, just rest the head on that. We're creating length in the spine here, so imagine from the tailbone all the way up the spine through the crown of the head. We're stretching, we're creating length. You're going to rock forwards, gently down to lie on the mat with the arms by the sides, and then walk the hands just in front of you. So you're making a 90-degree angle with the arms, so the shoulders over the elbow, and then push the tops of the feet into the mat, and you're just lifting the chest ever so gently and looking up. You can see there's a tiny little curve in my back here, but I'm squeezing the thighs together so that I'm taking any pressure off the low back. Then you're going to just walk back into child's pose. Breathing nice and deeply here, just feeling the belly rising and sinking as you inhale and exhale. And then just rocking forwards to come back into that, first of all, cobra pose, and then walk the hands forward so we come into Sphinx. So when we're on the forearms like this is Sphinx pose. You're just lifting the head up, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And breathing. Really nice, gentle stretch. Take it back, walking the arms back into child's pose. So in child's pose, the knees can either be together or they can be nice and wide apart. It's completely up to you. I'm just going to tuck the toes now and lift the hips to the sky to come into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take the feet nice and wide, so we're in a really nice wide stance. Keep the knees bent. Doesn't matter if the feet are really highly lifted off the mat. Just make sure you're comfortable and you're drawing up through the tailbone. You're just going to come onto the forearms here to come into dolphin pose. Squeezing the core, and then you're just going to walk towards the hands at the front of the mat. Hang forwards, take opposite elbows, swing side to side, trying to make sure that we have a nice deep bend in the knees. And we're stretching out the lower back here and the hamstrings. Opposite elbow, just swinging side to side. Breathe into the backs of the legs, just releasing the muscles in the lower back. And then we're going to inhale, halfway lift, look forwards, bring the hands to the shins, fold down, and then slowly rising all the way up. Use your core to lift yourself all the way up. Draw the arms together overhead, down through the heart. And by the side, this is mountain pose, Tadasana. So we're spreading the toes nice and wide on the mat, and just taking a little swing side to side. I love doing this just to reset, just to release any tension that's maybe in the spine, and just come to stillness. Make sure that we're pushing into the balls of the feet here. So the toes lifted, and then place them gently down, and you're just going to take a couple of circles with the wrists. Never practice yoga without gently warming up the wrists. Just taking them in one direction, then taking them in the other direction. Then you're going to step back with the left leg. Come into your high lunge. Nice bend in the front knee. Make sure the knee doesn't come forwards over the ankle. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. Squaring the left hip and the right hip. So they're both facing the front of the mat. Exhale, twist to your right. You can keep the gaze forward, or if you want to look over the back arm, you can look over the back arm. Draw the arm back up, reach up, and then twist the foot so that both feet are facing the long side of the mat. Bring the hands to the hips, and we're going to start hinging from the hips just to fold forwards. Releasing the hamstrings, breathing into the hamstrings. So when we spend a lot of time sitting, the hamstrings get tight, which then pull on the muscles in the low back, which can cause low back pain. So having nice, lean, long, stretched out hamstrings can really help with this. So just looking forwards and not coming down too far, trying to keep the spine straight here, keeping my hands on the hips, squeezing the core, pushing the mat away with the feet, drawing up, and then spin the feet so we're coming back into that high lunge. So the feet are facing the front of the mat. And then gently placing the hands either side of the front foot, dropping the back knee down. And we're going to just come into a low lunge, making sure the hips are square to the front of the mat. And we're just stretching the hip flexors and the quad of the left leg here. Hopefully you'll feel the stretch there. And then just place the hands either side of the foot, take the foot back. We're just going to rock back into our child's pose. And then from here, we're going to just rock forwards to come into Cobra. Hands are under the shoulders. And then lower down. Bring the hands down by the side. Make sure that you're tickling the ribs with the thumbs, the lower ribs. Chicken arms making a 90-degree angle. Push into the mat with the hands to lift the chest completely up, Cobra. Tops of the thighs are still on the mat, and then rock back gently. Tuck the toes and and come into a downward facing dog. Just pedaling the feet out here. So we're trying to make this nice upside down V shape with the body. We're spreading the fingers nice and wide. And then look forward to the hands. Walk towards them. Take opposite elbows and swing side to side. Nice deep bend in the knees. Such an amazing pose. Inhale to look forwards, bring the hands to the shins or the thighs, and then just fold, and then slowly rising all the way up. Bring the hands together, down through the heart to come into mountain pose. Try to make sure that the feet are hip width apart. We're also lifting the toes, placing them back on the mat one by one. Engaging the belly still, making sure the hips aren't sticking forwards or back. Rolling the shoulders up towards the ears, gently release. Taking a couple of breaths here before we step back with the right leg. Rise up, high lunge. We're just going to do the same that we did on the other side, on this side. Can lift up slightly and then exhale to twist to the left side, the arms. Can gaze over the back arm or the front. Try to keep the arms as in line as you can, and then draw the arms back up overhead, high lunge. We're taking a wide-legged stance, rising up, and then taking the right arm towards the left leg to twist. Looking up towards that right arm. And then drawing back through the middle and taking it over to the other side. Draw back up through the middle and spin the feet back to face the front of the mat. Drop the back knee, rise up, low lunge. Gently place the hands either side of the front foot, take the knee back, and then push the hips back to the heels for child's pose. Just breathing here, enjoying the pose. Really comforting pose. Really great for stretching the spine. Rocking forwards to come into your cobra. So the hands are by the rib cage, tickling the lower ribs with thumbs. Push into the tops of the feet, lift the chest to come into full extension of cobra. And then tuck your toes under to lift the hips to the sky for downward facing dog. So we're trying to look towards the belly button here. We've got the hands spread nice and wide. And then just cross the legs to come back into a seated position. And we're going to just bring the soles of the feet together to come into a butterfly. You just make sure that we're still lengthening up through the spine, and then draw the arms up. And then gently twisting to the right. So trying to make sure that the thumb is pointing down as you take it to the outside of the left thigh. Sorry, the right thigh. And the right hand is behind you. Super gentle, twist in the spine, draw up towards the ceiling of the sky and just take it over to the left side. So the right arm is coming to the outside of the left thigh. Breathing into it. Draw the arms back up through the middle, and then you're just going to bring the hands towards the ankles of the feet and just start to gently lean forwards into it. So you probably don't need to lean very far forward to get a stretch in your hips. And then just draw the knees back together. Just give yourself a little hug. Draw the head towards the knees. And then you want to slowly make your way down to lie on the mat with the knees bent. Reach for the backs of the heels with the fingertips. Just lift the hips up to come into bridge pose. So really squeeze the thighs together here. Squeeze the glutes. And if you want to draw the arms overhead, draw the arms overhead, and then draw them back down towards the side, and then draw them back overhead. You can use props here to support the sacrum if you want to, if you don't want such an active version of the pose. Draw the arms back down. We're just going back and forth, and then gently release down to the mat. Just let the hips fall side to side. The legs fall side to side. Draw the knees into the chest. And you're just going to gently take the legs over to the right side as we twist. Bring the gaze over the left shoulder. Just lying on the back. Open the arms into a cactus shape or into a big wide T shape. Just gently breathing into this really nice spinal twist. Again, it's super gentle. If you want to take it deeper, you can cross the legs instead of just having them on top of each other. So you can bring the left leg under the right leg. You can use your hand to push the thigh down. Whatever is going to feel best. Draw the knees back into the middle. Take the forehead to the knees. Come into a little ball. And then just take the legs out to the other side. Looking over the right shoulder this time. Nice deep breaths. You can just bring the hand to the thigh to support if you want. If the legs aren't coming all the way down to the ground, then you can also use the cushion to place under the knees. So you're just going to draw the knees slowly, gently up into the chest, and then take the outsides of the feet to come into Ananda Balasana, happy baby. You can just take as much or as little movement as you want here. Just trying to stretch out into the hips. Just releasing the legs back overhead if it feels good. Just play around with the posture and notice what feels nice, what doesn't. Don't do what doesn't. I love just rolling side to side, releasing the lower back out. Maybe give the feet a little massage. And then just slowly come down all the way to lie on the mat. Bring the legs out wide. The hands facing the ceiling or the sky. And just close the eyes as you come into Shavasana, our final resting posture. Just enjoying a few moments of nice, deep relaxation. Just letting yourself become heavy. Try to make sure there's no tension in your jaw, releasing the teeth. So we're not clenching. Just let the shoulders melt down into the mat. Just let yourself fully relax.